Hey, so good day. Mike Mata here. We're going to talk about Observer Management Server today. And the first thing we need to do is log in. And your default user ID and password is admin. So we'll sign in. And I've got some users created here. But first off, usually what I like to do is let's go see if there's any updates. So if you go to Settings, OMS Updates, hey, and there is. There's a new version. Kind of one of the new features I really like about the Observer Management Server and Apex is they will now tell you that there are updates and you can download those. So I'll highlight this new one, 17.060, and we'll click download, and it tells us that started, and we'll install that here in just a second. Okay, it tells us the download is complete, so we will now go ahead and install it. Click install, and it tells us the install is started, and it will do all the magic things that it needs to do to update my OMS to the latest 17.060. So we'll come back to that here in just a second once that finishes. Okay, and we can see here that that has updated to 17.0.6.0. So we have to sign back in. Let me do that here quick. And we'll just go double check that, and there you see no new updates are available, so we're good to go. So the big thing with OMS, Observer Management Server, is that it allows us to create and manage all of our devices. So one of the first things that I did is I created users. So I have, obviously it comes with the administrator account, but I've created some users. You see them here. It's as simple as clicking new, and I'll add a new user, and we'll put him as tech support. And if we want, we can put in his email. That's optional, and again, that's enabled. And we can set a password if we would like to with that particular username. And then we can edit the user group that he is a part of. And we're going to make him a member of the central region by highlighting the central region and clicking it over there. Now he is a member of the central region, and we'll click accept. Oh, and I need to set a password. So let's do that here. Whoops. Hang on now. It did not take him, so let's do that again. Bill, tech support. We'll set a password. Again, we'll make him a member of the Central Region Users Group. Alright, and now we'll click accept. And there we go. We now have Bill part of our tech support group. Next, we have user groups, which we saw. I have several of them created here. I have Central Region, Eastern Region, and Western Region. And then I also have asset groups. Engineering, help desk, IT, and support. And those different asset groups then obviously have assets that are assigned to them, like different gigastores, etc. So if we go look at the assets, we see that I have a Kansas City gigastore, a Los Angeles gigastore, Minneapolis gigastore, New York, and Texas. And then each of those can be administered by different users and by different asset groups as well. So if we actually look at the flow, if we look at the authorization flow, you can see that I have my groups, my asset groups: engineering, help desk, support, IT. So if I wanted to see, for instance, engineering, I can drag, whoops, look out now. I can drag that up here into my middle window. I don't know what that just did to my browser. That's interesting. It's made it all blue. Okay, but you can see that's kind of ugly. Let me see if I can't figure out what happened. Okay, we got it back. So we can see here my Eastern region. I have Tony and admin are part of the Eastern region, and again part of the asset group of IT, and they manage the New York Gigastore. If I wanted to take a look at my Central region, I can throw that up in the thing here, and it shows us who's all part of the Central region. And you know, we just added Bill. Bill's now part of the Central region, and Central region has both help desk and engineering. And help desk has 2 gigastores that they manage. Engineering has 1 gigastore that they manage. I can look at it by users. I can put a user up and see who and what assets they have access to. So here I have our user Sharon, part of the Western region, our support group, and she has access to the Gigastore in Los Angeles. If I wanted to find out what Mike has capabilities to, I can put Mike up there, and Mike, we can see, is also part of the Central region, but part of 2 different asset groups, help desk and engineering, and can get access to 3 different Gigastores. So creating, again, is very simple. Just go into authentication and authorization, start with users, build your users, put them into user groups. You can build asset groups, and again, give them specific assets that they can manage or get to. One of the other things Observer Management Server is good for is to also be able to hand out licenses. So we can bring in a license file, and then you can hand out licenses to different observers, multi-probes, Apex, so you can manage pretty much all of your Network Instruments observer tools from within, and none of these are here, so that's why there's nothing underneath there. But you could then hand out the licenses for those different probes and manage all of those different probes from Observer Management Server. As well as you can also update your filters. You can share filters across multiple observers. You can update the protocols, as far as if you have user-defined protocols that you would like to add across, let's say, multiple observer probes. You can define those here in protocols. Simply clicking on protocols, and here's our list of, you know, what the observer knows based on TCP, UDP, and SCTP, Stream Control Protocol. So again, it's those are the protocols and applications that Observer knows today. You can go in and configure, add, change what ports they listen on, add more ports, other ports for those particular applications. Again, we can also manage the HSM, your private keys and tokens. So I hope that gives you a little better understanding of how Observer Management Server works. We'll dive in a future video here and talk more about creating and adding users and all of that. So thanks for listening.